We're also tracking some particular names, some stocks here in the markets for you today. Shares of AT&T particularly. Let's start things off there. AT&T soaring after shareholder and activist investor Elliott Management disclosed a $3.2 billion stake in the company and said the wireless carrier, quote, deeply is undervalued and urged it to restructure. It believes the stock could be trading at $60 a share, and the stock closed Friday at around $36. And AT&T's response to Elliott Management's activists saying the company here in a statement saying that it's already working on issues that the investor outlined here. Meanwhile, President Trump also weighing in on Twitter. Trump tweeting this morning that he was glad to hear of Elliott Management's stake in AT&T, saying that the activist investor could help the CNN parent curb what he categorized as quote-unquote fake news, particularly to know about Elliott Management. They have been known heavily in the activist space. Last year, it was averaged out to about one activist campaign that they were launching every 2 weeks, which is certainly among the most in some of the private equity companies that we've seen as of recent. Of course, naturally this year we've heard of names like Starboard, Carl Icahn, particularly another big name and icon in the space of activist investors. But for Elliott Management sides, companies like Nielsen, Pernod Ricard, they have had some type of play in an activist campaign in both of those companies and much more over the years. And so this is going to be particularly interesting to continue watching to see how they try and go after AT&T, particularly the board seats as well that they're trying to get.
Yeah, and the company also raising concerns about that huge $85 billion acquisition of Time Warner. Now, not criticizing the content of CNN, maybe like the president has been, but the hedge fund expressing doubts as to why they actually purchased the company in the first place, saying in their statement AT&T, quote, has yet to articulate a clear strategic rationale for why AT&T needs to own Time Warner. That really flies in the face of this narrative and this thesis that we've seen in media right now, which is that distributors need content to bolster their business from a vertical perspective, vertical integration. So that is a very alarming part of their argument about why they could actually get to this valuation without having a content play as large as Time Warner. Again, here's President Trump criticizing the CNN brand, but also of this deal as well. Now, AT&T saying they will always have this dialogue with investors, but this is a big move here, and I mean the deal's already done. So unless they can unwind it somehow in the near future, I'm not really sure what they're looking for, but they do want to push for change, and that's what activist investors happen to do as their basic full-time job.
Right.